I believe society can't function correctly if we can't agree on basic facts.
You know, we're talking here about facts as if we all know what that means.
If it's already illegal speech, that's the only time it should be censored.
It's far too easy for misinformation to circulate when it isn't checked.
I'm excited to call this debate to order. Unresolved, social media companies should fact-check users' posts.
Social media algorithms determine which messages, profiles, and ideas users see. In other words, the algorithms put us in silos that contribute to the divided states of America in which we now live. Without independent third-party fact-checking across all social media, we will continue to experience two different versions of the world.
I believe our critical thinking skills have been systematically eroded through the use of tools like fact checkers. Having said that, I also support the right of these platforms to insert their own speech or propaganda under whatever label they choose. Fact checking on these platforms is never independent or objective. So
I think it's critical that fact checkers get buy-in from both sides and be regarded as credible sources. Currently, there's a strong argument from the right that most fact checkers have liberal leanings. The more conservative ones that do exist seem to be less active. Neutral reviews do classify many of the best-known fact checkers as, quote, leaning left, unquote. But that doesn't make them dishonest or inaccurate. Complex claims require a different approach, not a fact checker. Examples: was the economy better under Biden or Trump? What is the impact of tariffs on the economy? Does Hunter Biden's laptop implicate Joe Biden in wrongdoing? Could COVID-19 have originated in a lab? I think these kinds of claims are best left to scholars and analysts. Fact checkers just get in over their head when they investigate them.
I believe it's dangerous for people to develop the habit of trusting large social media companies to tell them what is true and what isn't. If we want to get out of our echo chambers and stop the spread of misinformation, we need to develop the habit of suspending judgment on the things that we hear. Because everything we think we know is an assumption. We need to learn how to decide which assumptions are safe to make for practical purposes, and we need to take responsibility for making our own decisions based on the evidence available to us.
Are we cooked? Are we done for? Is this even a solvable problem?
I understand where the questioner is coming from, and I do appreciate the feelings behind it. I firmly believe that we are not cooked.
This whole problem comes from a law passed in 1996, the Communication Decency Act, that gave internet companies a specific call-out and immunity from liability. 30 years on, we can ask how well that law is done, and the answer is terribly. Internet companies like Facebook, X, they should be held to the same liability standards as other publishers.
I too think that the root problem is Section 230. That's the section that gave social media platforms immunity. That was another time and another world. If social media causes misinformation and disinformation to go viral because of their algorithms, they need to be liable for that.
If we are going to hold media companies accountable for misinformation and disinformation, does that not then require that they be fact-checking?
It doesn't require fact-checking per se. It would require social media companies in their own interest to be very, very careful in what their algorithms do.
Yeah, so this was my first time participating in a Braver Angels debate, and well, I didn't really know what to expect going in, but I definitely learned a whole lot, not only about the actual topic of fact-checking, but also just that conversations like this are possible.
I really enjoyed this. It was very, very interesting. I too was unfamiliar with the Section 230, so I'm going to have to go and research that.
We can talk with each other and disagree in respectful manner, and that's what I want for the world right now.
That was a really rigorous discussion. It was a ton of fun to listen to. Thank you all. Have a nice night, everyone.